After the absolute masterpiece of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, how did they follow it up? Well, Tobe Hooper decided to make an insane, wild, silly, over-the-top comedy slasher that's also part spoof and part meta. Does it work? Well, kinda. We're about to figure that out. Part 2 begins many years after the original film. Over the years, chainsaw murders have been happening consistently, with no success in finding the cause of those murders. 2 college students are on the road, doing the usual in a slasher movie, drinking, smoking, trying to party it up. During their road rage, they choose to call a radio station and harass the female host, whose name is Stretch. She becomes the female lead, and she's really good in this, but that's besides the point. Well, during this call, Leatherface and his family on the road decide to attack those 2 college students, which leads to Stretch, the radio host, the female lead. I know, I'm probably going to repeat that a lot because hearing Stretch as a name is kind of weird. So which leads Stretch to investigate further and take it to the police, in which she meets an officer who has been hunting the Sawyer family for years because he has his own personal grudge and vendetta against the family. I won't spoil it because I think it's a pretty cool callback to the original film, but just know he's out for vengeance, kind of like Batman. The film becomes a cat and mouse game with the officer and the Sawyer family. Meanwhile, the female lead is terrorized by Leatherface and the Sawyer family, very similar to Sally in the original film. It's very much a retread in certain aspects, but that's fine because it totally works for the story being told. But what doesn't work is the film's pacing. The same flaw I had with the original is still present in the sequel. It takes too long to get going. And despite a really great opening scene with Leatherface attacking the college kids, it never really picks up till like half hour, 40 minutes in. And it's just like, this is kind of a slog. And I'm going to be honest, this film is not for me. I did not really enjoy myself. I enjoyed certain aspects of it, like I do all films. But overall, I found myself bored. Why was I bored? I'm not really sure. I love silly, over-the-top movies. I adore goofy moments. And I love horror. It should have 110% worked for me, but it just didn't. I truly wish I knew why. But what did work for me? Leatherface. He's the same giant murderous brute, but this time he's more akin to, say King Kong. Because he takes a liking to Stretch. He's more of a gentle giant that is almost confused by this pretty woman. And he doesn't know what to do with her, but he also doesn't want to kill her. But, his family's like, yeah, kill her, cut her up. And it's it's a nice side to the character showing that he's just not some brutish person that, he actually has a brain and he can think for himself. Who's the standout, though? A new member of the Sawyer family, Chop Top, played magnificently by Bill Moseley. Chop Top is a character that is completely random. He acts very sporadic, very crazy. It's almost borderline just nuts. And the best way I could think of him is he's a mixture of Joker and the Crazy Frog. Crazy Frog's not relevant anymore, but when I was young, he was a big thing. So I don't know how many people are actually going to get that. And he's called Chop Top because he has a metal plate on his skull from the Vietnam War. And that plays into the character and all that stuff. So would I watch a Chop Top solo movie? Absolutely. But like I said earlier, this film is silly and goofy. It's far from a serious film like the original. There's Leatherface making sexual innuendos with his chainsaw. There's Chop Top cussing up a storm 24/7. There's literal chainsaw fights. It's wild. And I can't blame Tobe Hooper either because he he didn't want to make the same movie again. And I fully respect that when you think about like Friday 13th or like Halloween or like Nightmare on Elm Street, how so many of them feel samesies. Like they feel like the repeated storyline. And I respect that he didn't want to do another like super serious genre film. So I'm cool with that. But this film just isn't for me. I'm glad it gained a cult following though, and people can appreciate it now, because all films should be appreciated, because it's a miracle that films are even made. And if the franchise keeps changing things up like this, I'm very excited to watch more. Part 2 might have been not for me, but that doesn't change my hype for watching more, because different strokes for different folks. So what are your thoughts on part 2? If you enjoyed this, the usual YouTube stuff. Feel free to like and subscribe, and like always, keep trying to do better and keep being good people.